Hi everyone! Did you know that Judaism teaches that their Messiah comes from below? Listen to this rabbi teach that upon the destruction of Jerusalem, a little baby was saved and brought to the bird's nest. He will be their Messiah. He will rise from the underworld. Our Messiah, Jesus, comes from above, but their Messiah, he comes from below. And I will document this from the Jewish sources.
Clearly a reptilian. These are reptilian entities. And they're the good guys. They are not all of this dimension. They're of different dimensions. Many of them are ancient. They know us all too well. Many of them are in inner earth. And according to our legends, on the day of the destruction of the temple, first temple, 586 BCE, on the 9th of Av, the day of the destruction, a woman of the house of David gave birth to a child. This is a legend, this is Midrash, this is a Gemara. And the child was abducted and taken away. The Zohar states that this child for the last 2,500 plus years has been raised in a place called the bird's nest, which is said to be in inner earth, in a place called the Garden of Eden. And you know where the Garden of Eden is. Well, let me rephrase that. You know how to access the Garden of Eden, don't you? Midrash. Abraham certainly knew this. When Abraham said that one of the stories says one of his sheep ran into a cave. He goes into the cave. He smells something really fragrant. He finds the burial place of Adam and Eve. Adam gets up and talks to him. Hey, how's it going? All right. Nice to talk to a dead guy. And he's talking. Okay. Remember, it's a story. And it is said that the cave of Machpelah in Hebron is the entranceway to the Garden of Eden. Have ever you guys been in a cave? We got plenty of beautiful caves out here in East Tennessee. Wonderful places. We even have our own cave in our property, which hopefully will develop one day. And gardens. How many people grow gardens in a cave? Garden of Eden's in a cave? Certainly not. But the access to the Garden of Eden is in this cave. Well, how do you get from the garden to the cave and the cave to the garden? We would call that a dimensional vortex passageway.
Now let's look at the synagogue in the caves below Jerusalem.
And Rabbi Meir told me that every now and then they would kidnap a Jew, tie a rope around him, and lower him down the hundreds and hundreds of feet into the cave. They said over repeated times, you could feel the heaviness on the rope of the guy being lowered down, and hear his screaming, ah! Silence. The rope, the weight gone. They pull up the rope. It wasn't broken. It wasn't torn. It was gone. And the guy in it was gone. There's a vortex, and he passed through what we believe is inner earth, directly underneath Jerusalem and Hebron, is an actual place in inner earth called the Garden of Eden. Now, if we could take the earth and like chop it open in half, Nikola Tesla style, would we actually see an inner earth? Or is it full of magma like modern science say? I don't know. I suspect that, well, we know inside the crust there are caverns the size of continents. They've found more water. It's an underground ocean. I think it was said that it's bigger than all the oceans. So they know something real is down there. When you hear the stories of Admiral Byrd going in through the poles and interacting with entities there, that's in accordance to what we've always known and believed. Sounds just like what our sages have been teaching for thousands of years. All of these peripheral teachings, Agartha, and the Buddhist tradition, sounds just like what we've been teaching.
So a man named Admiral Byrd discovered hollow earth. And there's a bird in this hollow earth. I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. Now, where are they getting these ideas from? They're getting them from the Kabbalah. So I put together this little presentation of Shemot chapter 15 out of the Zohar.
The coming of the Messiah. A synopsis from chapter 15 of the Zohar. Rabbi Shimon first describes the time when God shall make himself known throughout the world, which is the prelude to the arrival of the Messiah. We learn that when God reveals his glory to the world, all the nations and their kings will rise up against the children of Israel, and the children of Israel will suffer greatly. A pillar of fire reaching from heaven to earth will appear for 40 days. At this time, the Messiah will rise in Galilee and begin to wage war on the world from there, because this is where the devastation first began. The earth will shake and everybody will seek refuge in caves and rocky places, as alluded to in the verse, and they shall go into the holes. After 40 days, a bright star from the east will battle with 7 stars surrounding it, extinguishing them night after night for a period of 70 days. Then the one star will be hidden, and the Messiah will be concealed in the pillar of fire for 12 months, though it will not be visible to the world. After the 12 months, the Messiah will ascend to receive the power and the crown of the kingdom. Then the pillar of fire will again be visible on earth, and the Messiah will reveal himself and declare war on the world. Many nations will join him to wage war on the nations of the world, which will unite to fight against him. Then, a time will come when the world will remain in darkness for 15 days, and many of the children of Israel will perish. Rabbi Shimon then explains to Rabbi Elazar that the Messiah resides in the lower Garden of Eden, surrounded by saints, angels, and the souls of the righteous. There is a concealed place in Eden called Bird's Nest, which is revealed to the Messiah by the bird that awakens daily in the garden. In the bird's nest is the cloak of majesty, and the images of all the nations that banded against Israel are woven into this garment. The Messiah enters this place and sees the patriarchs visiting the ruins of God's sanctuary. And God trying to comfort Rachel, who weeps incessantly. Then he weeps loudly, and all of Eden shakes and laments with him. When he cries for a second time, the holy throne summons them, and they ascend above. There God makes them swear to avenge the children of Israel through the Messiah, and to draw God's goodness towards the children of Israel so that they may enjoy his rich rewards. At that time, God will arise to renew the world, and the letters of the holy name will shine in perfect union. A mighty star and a flame will then appear in the sky. After 40 days, the star will gradually overpower the flame. The star will illuminate 12 pathways for 12 days. And after another 12 days, the world will tremble and darkness will fall. A sound shall be heard out of great thunder and lightning, causing the earth to shake and many to die. Then a flame of fire will appear in Rome, and it will burn many towers and places, and many mighty rulers and ministers will perish. For 12 months following, the kings of the nations will unite and persecute the children of Israel. Then a tribe will arise in Israel led by the Messiah. The Messiah will be aroused and perfected through the Garden of Eden. He will enter the bird's nest, take the garment of jealousy, and be hidden there for 40 days. After this time, he will ascend to receive God's blessing and will be crowned with a holy crown. He then receives a royal red garment from the mourners of Zion to avenge the destruction of the temple, and is concealed in the bird's nest for 30 days. Then he will descend to earth in a bright light, and no one will know the significance of this light, except the sages. He will console Rachel, and she will finally accept consolation. And then the light will settle in the city of Jericho. After 12 months, the Messiah will be revealed to the world in Galilee. And those who study the Torah will surround him and give him additional strength. After waiting for another 12 months, he will raise the Shekinah and gather the exiled from the world. Then God will perform for the children of Israel the signs and wonders that he did in Egypt. In exile, we learn, the children of Israel are ruled by the other side. The Shekinah is separated from her spouse, and the two names of God are also separated. During the first exile, Israel had no divine light to guide her. However, upon their return to the Holy Land, not all of the children of Israel were righteous and pure. And therefore the light that returned to guide them was weaker than it had originally been. Consequently, Israel was involved in many wars until the destruction of the Second Temple, and the Roman captivity was prolonged. After 1,266 years, we are told God shall perform many miracles and wonders, and after another 66 years, the holy name will be perfectly engraved, above and below. After a further 132 years, the Holy Land will be purified, and God will shake the wicked from the earth and raise the dead. Finally, 144 years later, the remaining dead of Israel who are in other lands will also be raised, and the other side will be destroyed. Then the Shekinah will be crowned, and the holy spirits of the children of Israel will be invested with new holy bodies, and they shall be called saints.
72 returned with joy, saying, Lord, even the demons are subject to us in your name. And he said to them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven.
Zechariah chapter 5, verses 5 through 11. Then the angel who was speaking to me came forward and said to me, Look up and see what is appearing. I asked, What is it? He replied, It is a basket. And he added, This is the iniquity of the people throughout the land. Then the cover of lead was raised, and there in the basket sat a woman. He said, This is wickedness. And he pushed her back into the basket and pushed its lead cover down on it. Then I looked up, and there before me were two women with the wind in their wings. They had wings like those of a storm, and they lifted up the basket between heaven and earth. Where are they taking the basket? I asked the angel who was speaking to me. He replied, To the country of Babylonia to build a house for it. When the house is ready, the basket will be set there in its place.